What's going on YouTube? Just kind of here bringing you guys back another deck profile. Today we are doing Kuribohs. Kuribohs is a really fun deck that you can do a lot of creative things with and have a lot of flexibility. And yeah, without further ado, let's get right into this deck profile. First off, we have triple of the OG Kuriboh. If you don't know what Kuriboh does, essentially you just ditch it to the graveyard from your hand and it will stop any battle damage coming from your opponent. And it's level 1 Dark Fiend monster. Not too much more to say about it, but we do run 3. I run triple Kuriboh. This is basically like a monster reborn, but for Kuribohs. Essentially, what Kuriboh does is you can discard this card at the end of the battle phase, and it'll bring back a monster that was destroyed during that battle phase. And during your opponent's turn, you can banish this from your graveyard and special summon as many Kuriboh monsters from your graveyard as possible. And what's cool about this guy is he's a light Kuriboh. Next up, I run double winged Kuriboh. So this guy, basically, if he is destroyed, any battle damage you take that turn becomes 0. This is just a pretty good stall card. Just something to kind of say, hey, here's a winged Kuriboh. You're not going to beat me this turn. So yeah, definitely recommend running 2 of these in a Kuriboh deck. Next up, we run 1 of each Kuriboh brothers. Essentially, you use the spell card for this deck, the 5-star something, to bring out these, plus a copy of Kuriboh, and then you link off from there. So essentially, that is why you play 1 of each, so you can bring 1 of each out with the 5-star spell card. We play 1 Babylon as the level 5 Kuriboh. This is actually a pretty good card, but definitely don't want to run this at more than 1. For the level 5s, we run triple red hardy horse, or red hasty horse. Red-haired hasty horse, my bad. Essentially, if you control no other cards, you can special summon this from your hand. And then it has an effect where anything in that column cannot be activated that turn. That this is special summoned to. So this is probably the best 5-star card you can run for this deck. I also run double Cyber Dragon just as an extra level 5 light monster. If your opponent has a monster and you don't, you can just bring this out to 2100 beat stick, and it's a level 5 for the 5-star spell card. And then 1 Link Slayer, and just as another level 5, you can bring this card out pretty easily and use it to pop off. 1 Chaos Sorcerer. Honestly, you could probably switch this out for Blackluster Soldier. Honestly, that's probably what I would do, but this is just a cool card that I put in here that I thought can show off some of the chaos potential of the deck. So this Blackluster Soldier, Chaos Emperor Dragon, or the Armageddon Dragon. My bad. This is just this could also be hand traps or a hand trap. My bad. Again, just something fun to show the potential of the deck. I run double Fossil Dyna Pachycephalo, however you say that. Honestly, you could ditch the Chaos Sorcerer for a third copy of this card. Essentially, you normal summon it, and then either player can special summon it. Can special summon that monsters point blank period. So it's a really cool floodgate, and I'll show you how to use this in the best way possible. So yeah, 2 of these, but honestly, I might bump it up to 3. Moving on to spell cards, we have 5-star Twilight, which is just the 5-star spell card that I was talking about. Essentially, if you only control a level 5 monster, you play this, you tribute it, and you bring out your 5 Kuriboh brothers, plus the Kuriboh. So yeah, you want to run this at 3 for sure. But yeah, not much else to say about this. Triple multiply, so you tribute a Kuriboh and then you special summon as many Kuriboh tokens as possible. So yeah, you just, let's say you only have Kuriboh in your hand, and you I don't know, you had just a bunch of stuff you can't use in your hand. You just play Kuriboh, and you can play multiply, and then have 5 Kuriboh tokens you know, to defend with, or even possibly link off with if you can get off on your turn. So yeah, moving on. Triple Detonate. Basically, this is a good card to use with Multiply. You destroy as many Kuriboh cards as you can. and then destroy the same number of cards that your opponent controls. So yeah, triple detonate. Honestly, you could probably play like lightning vortex, or not lightning vortex. There's a Raigeki, and then what is the one card? You could play triple tactics or lightning storm. I think it. Can't remember. It's like destroy all monsters, and then you also have the choice to destroy all spell cards. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's a pretty popular card, or at least it used to be. But yeah, you just play these because it's a Kuriboh themed deck, and these are fun. Double the Flute of Summoning Kuriboh. It brings out a Kuriboh or a Winged Kuriboh. Honestly, I'd probably play this at 3, but I only have 2 copies for right now. But if I ever decide to start playing this deck a little bit more than I do, I'd probably bump this up to 3. Double Mirror Moon Shield. Essentially, any monster that your opponent attacks or that you attack with this card, their attack becomes equal to the other monster's attack plus 100, so you will always be stronger. I will probably bump this up to 3 as well. Essentially, you play the Fossil Dyna, and then equip it with this, and yeah, basically your opponent can't special summon, and you just keep attacking over and over again, taking out whatever they summon, and then attacking directly if they can't summon anything, and yeah. So for that part of the strategy, I'd probably bump both cards up to 3. I played triple Allure of Darkness, so this is just to up the consistency of the deck. I would probably consider playing Card of Demise, or Card Demise, whatever it's called, on top of this to try and up the consistency. And then you can also try Jar of Greeds or Pot of Avarices, things like that. But I think Allure of Darknesses plus Card of Demise would be a pretty solid setup for consistency in this deck. One Monster Reborn. This is just to bring back monsters to extend your plays, or even bring back a pain in the butt monster that your opponent played and make them fight their own monster. Round off the deck, one Mirror Force. Again, this could be really anything you want. Another hand trap, another fossil card, the other Mirror Moon Shield, anything. So this is just kind of a filler card. The Monster Reborn can also be swapped out for just about anything. So again, you don't have to use this deck as a like you have to go by this. Like, this is what you must make. Just use this as kind of a basis. Anyway, moving on to the extra deck. Starting off with the Link monsters, we have one Relinquished Anima, one Dark the Dark Charmer Gloomy, one IP Masquerena, one Nightmare Phoenix, one Nightmare Unicorn, one Blackluster Soldier, one Borosaur Dragon, one Borolo Dragon. Honestly, this should be a access code talker. One Appaloosa, one Saruja. Honestly, you could double this up and play 2 of this, because this comes up a lot, honestly. One Underworld Goddess, and that rounds up the... Sorry, my cat jumped up here. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. So, yeah, these are the Link monsters, Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. I believe this is a very good Link setup, but you could definitely switch this up a little bit. But for, you know, a nice little budget Link monster setup, I think this is very nice. One Trishula Fusion, you can just go into this off of the Kuriboh monsters. This is a great card for this deck. One Kikinagashi Fucho. Fucho. No idea how to say this, but this card. One Down the Magician, and one Zeus. So I think this is a pretty solid setup for an extra deck. Again, feel free to mess around with this however you want. The main deck is still being played around with. Like I said, there's a lot of different things you can play. I think the Mirror Force, at the very least, and probably the Chaos Sorcerer are getting swapped out for 3rd copies of the Fossil Dyna and the Mirror Moon Shield. But yeah, the extra deck I think is fairly solid, except for switching out for an access code talker and maybe 1 or 2 cards here and there. But yeah, let me know what you guys want to see next in the comments, and let me know if there's anything you guys think I can do to improve. And if you watch a couple of my videos, consider subscribing. Again, I would love to make this channel grow, try and bring you guys videos more consistently. But to do that, we got to get the channel to grow. So again, please consider subscribing, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks, and just Connor here to see you guys next time.